morning children, how are you all? Hope you all are doing good. So today in this class we are going to start a new chapter from history. Okay, so lesson number 8. The chapter name is Important Dynasties of North India. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to learn about, so first chapter you all have seen our national flag, right children? So in the middle of the part we have seen a wheel. What do we call it as? We call it as Ashoka Chakra, is it? So in this, then who is this Ashoka and to which dynasty does he belong and what is the history of this dynasty and what are the contributions of Ashoka? So all these things we are going to learn in this chapter, mainly about Ashoka. Okay. So Maurya dynasty was the first dynasty of India. Okay, so Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Maurya dynasty. Okay, so now first we will learn about this Chandragupta Maurya. So this Chandragupta Maurya, he was an adventurous young man. Okay, this Vishnugupta of Takshashila was insulted. Okay, Vishnugupta was the king of Takshashila. He was insulted by the Nanda king Dhanananda. Okay, so Vishnugupta was insulted by the Nanda king Dhanananda. Okay, so Vishnugupta was very diplomatic, intelligent king. So he was also called as Chanakya and Kautilya. Okay, Vishnugupta was also called as Chanakya and Kautilya. So he was also called as Chanakya and Kautilya. Vishnugupta trained Chandragupta Maurya in the skills of warfare. Okay, so Vishnugupta trained Chandragupta in the skills of warfare and helped him to form his own army. Okay, so Vishnugupta trained Chandragupta Maurya in the skills of warfare and helped Chandragupta Maurya to form his own army. Okay, children, so by this time the people had lost faith in Dhanananda. Okay, the people had lost faith in Dhanananda. So this was easy for Chandragupta Maurya to defeat Dhanananda. Okay, already the people had lost faith on Dhanananda. So it was easy now for Chandragupta Maurya to defeat Dhanananda. So like this, Chandragupta Maurya defeated Dhanananda and he established Mauryan dynasty. Okay, he established Mauryan dynasty 2300 years ago. Okay, so Chandragupta Maurya established Mauryan dynasty 2300 years ago and made Pataliputra, so which is present capital of Bihar. Okay, Patna. So this was his capital. Later he organized large army and moved. Okay, so later after defeating Vishnugupta, Dhanananda, he established Mauryan dynasty. Okay, later he organized large army and moved towards northwestern India. So some of the regions, okay, of northwest were occupied by Alexander. Okay, so he organized a large army and moved towards northwestern India. Some of the regions of northwest were occupied by Alexander. Okay, Alexander, the king of Macedonia. Alexander was the king of Macedonia. But now they were taken care of by his representatives Seleucus. Okay. So this was taken care by the representative called as Seleucus. Okay. So Seleucus was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya. So later Seleucus was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya. After defeated by Chandragupta Maurya, he entered an agreement. Okay, so after Seleucus was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya and they entered to an agreement. What was that? Apart from Okay, not only these areas, he also got his daughter married to Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so in return, Chandragupta Maurya gave 500 elephants to Seleucus. Okay, so in return, Chandragupta Maurya gave 500 elephants to Seleucus. Okay, so Seleucus sent an ambassador called Megasthenes. Okay, Megasthenes. So Seleucus sent an ambassador called Megasthenes to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. So Megasthenes has recorded his experience in the book called titled Indica. So Megasthenes has recorded all his experiences in his book called Indica. Okay, so Chandragupta Maurya accepted which religion? So Chandragupta Maurya accepted the religion Jainism. Okay, in his last days, he made his son Bindusara as the king and came to Karnataka with some Jain monks. So what happened? Chandragupta Maurya made his son Bindusara. So Bindusara was the son of Chandragupta Maurya. So Chandragupta Maurya made his son Bindusara as the king and he came to Karnataka with some Jain monks. Okay, so he undertook Sallekana, fasting till death. Okay, so Chandragupta Maurya undertook Sallekana. Sallekana means fasting till death at Shravanabalagala of Hassan district and passed away. Okay, so his son Bindusara ruled for 25 years. Okay, so Bindusara ruled for 25 years. Okay, children. So next, after Bindusara, his son Ashoka. So Bindusara's son was Ashoka. Okay, so after his son Bindusara, his son Ashoka came to power. Okay, so he has a special place in the world history. He is the first king to give welfare of subjects as his top priority by declaring what he told, my citizens are like my children. Okay, so Ashoka declared that he gave main priority by declaring my citizens are like my children. Okay, so what is next? We'll go for the Ashoka's inscription. So what do you mean by this inscriptions, as you have learned in the last chapter also? Inscriptions means it is a writings or carved on the stones. Okay, so Ashoka's inscriptions are spread throughout India. So these are mainly in Brahmi script. Okay, Ashoka's inscriptions are mainly in Brahmi script and Prakrit language. Okay, Brahmi script and Prakrit language. In Karnataka, 17 inscriptions of Ashoka are found in many places. So the inscriptions found at Maski of Raichur is of more importance. Okay, the inscriptions Maski of Raichur are of more importance, as the name of Ashoka appears for the first time here. So in this inscription Maski of Raichur, in this inscription the name of Ashoka was appeared for the first time. Okay, so till then names like Devanapriya, Priyadarshani were present. So Ashoka had different names called as Devanapriya, Priyadarshani. So these names were present in the inscriptions. For the first time, Maski, so this was the inscription of Raichur. In this inscription, the name Ashoka was appeared for the first time. Okay, so Devanapriya, Priyadarshani, Ashoka appears. So with the help of Ashoka's inscription, inscriptions, the life, achievement and the extent of his empire can be understood. So by these inscriptions we came to know about the life of Ashoka, his achievements and the extent of his empire. All this we came to know by knowing these inscriptions. Okay. So next we'll move on to the Kalinga War. So Ashoka declared war against Kalinga 8 years after he came to power. Okay, so Ashoka declared a war against Kalinga 8 years after 8 years when he came to power. So this is an important stage in his life. So Kalinga was part of present Odisha. Ashoka waged war against this. So in this war, 1 lakh people lost their lives. Okay, so during this Kalinga war, 1 lakh people lost their lives and 1.5 people became prisoners and many 1 lakh people lost their lives and another lakh became injured and more than 1 lakh people became prisoners. So all this happened. So Ashoka, by seeing all this, Ashoka was deeply disturbed by the extent of damage of human life in this war. Okay. So after this war, by seeing all this, Ashoka was deeply disturbed by the extent of damage of human life in the war field. So he was deeply pained and decided not to wage war in future. So after this war, he decided not to wage any war in future. So there is no other emperor like this in the history. Okay, so there was no any other king in the history like this who took a decision not to wage war. So Ashoka chose the path of dharma in the place of war. Okay, so he took the path of dharma in the place of war. So next we will see the spread of religion. Ashoka was attracted by Buddhism, okay, and he accepted Buddhism also. He started to spread the messages of Buddhism to his subjects, to his people. He said one should respect parents, elders and should have compassion, truthfulness and be generous. Okay, so he also said one should leave violence, anger and jealousy. He also told his people that they should leave violence, anger and jealousy. Ashoka organized the Buddhist conference at Pataliputra. He built Buddha stupas and sent people to far-off countries to spread Buddhist religion. So, okay, so he also built Buddhist stupas and also sent the people to far-off countries, to far-away countries to spread the religion Buddhism. Okay, so next we'll see the administrative system of Mauryas. So the king was the chief. Okay, so here the king was the chief of the administrative system. All the powers was in the hands of the king. The ministers helped the king in the administrative system. Okay, so they were higher officers called Dharma Mahamantras. Okay, so what they were called as Dharma Mahamantras. So they were higher officers. Okay, so Dharma Mahamantras, they were higher officers who preached good conduct to the people. So they preached, this Dharma Mahamantras preached good conduct to the people. So they also took the responsibility of the welfare of the orphans, widow and old people. Okay, the whole empire was divided into many provinces for the sake of administration. For the sake of good administration, the whole empire was divided into many provinces. Okay, so Gramika administered the village with the help of the elders. Okay, so next we'll go for the architecture and sculpture. Sculpture of Ashoka period can still be seen today. Among them stupas and pillars are important. Okay, this means sculpture means the stupas and pillars are important. The stupa in Sanchi. Okay, so this is in Madhya Pradesh. The stupa in Sanchi of Madhya Pradesh and pillar in Sarnath. Okay, Ashoka pillar in Sarnath are very famous. The four-headed lion on top of Sarnath pillar is our national emblem also. So you have studied the national emblem in the last class, right? What is this? The four-headed lion on top of the Sarnath pillar. Okay children, so next we'll know about the Kushanas. So about 2000 years ago, Kushana dynasty ruled over Gandhara. Gandhara means it is present Afghanistan. Gradually many places in India came under the rule of Kushanas. Kanishka is the most famous ruler of Kushana. Okay, Kanishka. So he was the most famous ruler of Kushana. He waged battles for long time and extended his empire. His empire extended from Afghanistan to Bihar. Okay, so we'll learn some of the things about Kanishka. He was the main follower of Buddhism and built many stupas like Ashoka. Okay, he sent Buddhist monks to many countries to spread Buddhism. So Kanishka was a follower of Buddhism, and he built many Buddhist stupas also like how Ashoka, and he sent many Buddhist monks to different countries to spread the religion Buddhism. He conducted the 4th International Buddhist Conference also. Okay, so to mark the beginning of his administration, he started Shaka calendar, which is also called as Shalivahana Shaka. Okay, Shalivahana Shaka. So, in order to mark his beginning of administration, to mark the beginning of Kanishka's administration, he has started Shaka calendar, which is also known as Shalivahana Shaka. Okay, so this calendar is also the official calendar of Government of India. Okay, next coming to the architecture and sculpture, Kanishka built many stupas. The stupa in Parshapura, present Peshawar, had a 13-storied tower. Okay, so Kanishka built many stupas. The stupa in Parshapura, the present Peshawar, has a 13-storied tower, and the tower was 400 feet high. Okay, the tower was 400 feet high. It was a building of wonder then. He has also built Kanishka Pura. Okay, so the king Kanishka has also built a place called as Kanishka Pura. Okay, so literature. Kanishka had offered shelter for many scholars. Okay, many scholars and writers of his time. So some of the important scholars are Ashwagosha. Ashwagosha is important among them. Okay, Ashwagosha is one of the important scholar among them. He has written Buddha Charita. Okay, so Ashwagosha is one of the important scholar, and he has written a book called as Buddha Charita. Okay, Buddha Charita in Sanskrit. Nagarjuna was a great philosopher present in Kanishka's court. Okay, Nagarjuna was a famous great philosopher who was present in the court of Kanishka. Another, Vasumitra was a Buddhist scholar, and he was the president of 4th Buddhist conference held at Kashmir. Okay, Charaka was said to be the contemporary doctor of Kanishka. Okay children, so these were Kanishka. So here it's the time to end the session, and in the next session we will continue with the same chapter. Okay.